Hello and welcome everyone to another exciting edition of Sports Weekly. We call it your one-stop shop for all things sports. My name is Emmanuel Odufejo. I'll be your regular anchor. But I am not alone in the studio. I've got with me Mr. Joachim Idada.
Emmanuel, my pleasure.
Always great to have you in the studio.
It's always teaming up with you. It's good. It's good, nice.
All right, so this is Sports Weekly, and we've got exciting news for you coming across from all around the world of sports. Let's start from the home front, where we can confirm to you, of course, that Nigeria, alongside Egypt, has qualified for Russia 2018, the World Cup proper. But in preparation, to the World Cup itself, we know that there are already, talks about friendlies, international friendlies, being put together for the Super Eagles, and there's still no concrete information about the friendlies, but we know that talks are ongoing about the friendlies. But I think that one major source of should I say, information right now is the jostling for funds, whether the one coming from FIFA. We know there's a couple of $1 million that Nigeria is supposed to get for qualifying for Russia 2018. And I think some people in some quarters are also saying the federal government of Nigeria should also release funds. What's all these stories we're hearing?
One thing that we can confirm is that for qualifying, all the teams that will qualify will get $12.5 million.
Okay.
And towards preparing for the World Cup, FIFA is also going to give $2.5 million.
Okay.
Now the question is, some people are also still canvassing that the NFF or the government should fund the preparation.
But the question is, if you're expecting to get some funds from FIFA, why are you asking government also for funds?
And that is the question that beats our imagination. Remember, last week on this program, we did talk about the comments or the remark made by Shego Degbami on the platform, where he said clearly that the Abuja Stadium remains the testament of the level of corruption that exists in our sport. So whenever you see the Abuja Stadium, something should come to your mind that is a clear evidence, because for him, he believes Koja was a massive fraud. Something that has continued to happen in Nigerian sports, especially when it comes to Nigeria or when it comes to a team from Nigeria. So let me not use the word Nigeria, a team from Nigeria. When it comes to a team from Nigeria going to play in an international event, we now come to the question is, for Nigerian sport administrators, it's always a jamboree. And because it's always a jamboree, they will always want the government to fund such jamboree. Because obviously, one thing that is clear for me is, if the NFF feels that Russia 2018 or the Super Eagles, they are such a good product to market, and their participation in Russia 2018 is even it makes it a better product to market, then tell me, why can't they go to the private sector and solicit for funding? The point is that if they go to the private sector, then they will account for the money they are asking for. And remember, history has shown clearly that whenever you have an international event where a team for Nigeria is participating, it's always a way by which certain groups of persons, those in the legislature, at least I know for sure that all the FA chairmen in all the states of the federation will want to attend Russia 2018. So that means 36 plus the federal capital. Then you now have the members of the sports committee in the National Assembly who also want to attend. Then you now have, what of those? Are they
attending on their own, in their own capacity, or attending?
That's why you have the jamboree, because first of all, I can assure you, FIFA will not give funds for such.
Exactly.
What FIFA is going to give funds for is technical preparation. It's not left for the FA, Because one thing that is clear that a lot of people miss is that FIFA is not actually an association of countries. It's an association of people interested in football. It's a private business. In quote, let us say non-for-profit business, but FIFA makes a lot of profit. Because if you don't make a lot of profit in the name of God, how do you share $12.5 million for each team that qualifies? So it's a business proposition. And if FIFA events, especially the World Cup, is a business proposition, why then will you tell me the NFF and the Ministry of Sports will not consider it the same?
That's telling. That's telling. And we do hope that all of this, I call it side distractions, does not take us away from what we really need to be doing when Nigeria is preparing for such a, it's the biggest footballing event in the world. What we should be talking about right now is friendlies, preparations, towards the main event. All right, but still talking the Super Eagles. We can tell you that the FIFA ranking for October 2017 is out both for Africa and also for the world. We can confirm to you that at least for the top 10 ranked African countries, in the FIFA ranking, Tunisia is 28, Egypt 30, Senegal 32nd, DR Congo 35, Nigeria is 41, Cameroon is 42, Morocco is 48, Ghana is 52, Burkina Faso 55, Ivory Coast 61. I'd like to just take the first 5 and I'd like to ask you, do you think there's a fair, reflection of football in Africa, especially based on at least the World Cup qualifiers? Tunisia, Egypt, Senegal, DR Congo, and Nigeria. Would you say that this is a fair reflection of what's happening on the continent?
I won't say is the FIFA ranking a reflection of what's happening on the continent.
Well, in fact, some people even say that don't give any cognizance to FIFA ranking.
So this is not the first of
including
all,
Ahmad,
the
FIFA.
Right now,
that's very funny.
Right now, the FIFA ranking is going to be used
yeah.
as one of the criteria
for seeding countries.
The countries. One thing that bothers me is, which I believe is ludicrous, is that have African countries been able to decipher how the FIFA ranking is analyzed and apportioned?
Well, I don't know if African countries can do that because really it's, you can really not even say this is how it is done or this is why they do it. It just looks very appalling.
No, I don't agree. It's because we have refused to do what is supposed to be done.
What do you mean?
The FIFA ranking is not just a measure of how your national
performance
team
on the pitch
is performing.
Okay.
It's not. They are also looking at the structure of your football. They are looking at the structure of your football. They are looking at the followership of your football. They are looking at your age grade football. It's a pot of soup. There's so much ingredients that is put into the FIFA ranking. So because when we put Tunisia, who is ranked number 1 in Africa, and put them against Nigeria when it comes to performance in the African continent, there's no way you can measure both of them. But look at the gap. So there are other things that are put into that pot before they came out with FIFA ranking. Now, for the African countries, have they been able to ask themselves, what are the indices, what are the parameters that is used to measure your stand, our ranking in football? Is it just your participation in international, the number of friendlies you play, the quality of friendlies you play? All of them is put in there. Even your college, your age grade football. Example, just imagine none of our teams in our Premier League has an age grade structure. So all you just have is the senior team in our various clubs and nothing else. You're also looking, they're also ranking how your teams fare in the in your continental football. Things like how will what's their name, Plateau United, how are they going to fare in the next in the CAF Champions League? All of these are used to rank your football. So right now, how many African countries, you understand, are doing what they are supposed to do when it comes to football? Because all of the countries, or most of the countries, or the country I know very well, Nigeria, it is the government that finances our football. And there is no way they will rank Nigeria, who the government is neck deep into our football. There's no way you are going to rank you as Africa #1. It doesn't work. In a time where there's this advocacy.
Well, so I kind of understand, where you're coming from, but at the same time, I also think that there's still in some quarters, some people still believe that, don't really mind these FIFA people. They just do their rankings based on some very crazy coefficients.
It is not a group of
including,
people.
Including the likes of the CAF president, Ahmad. CAF president was in Lagos, just some couple of days ago. And he made the statement that, as far as he is concerned, Nigeria is the best footballing nation in Africa now.
What do you expect when you have a country who has qualified for the World Cup and nobody is sitting down and looking at the marketing side or the marketing benefits? They're not looking at the commercial benefits. They're not looking at the incomes derivable from such an opportunity, but they are more interested in how to go to the federal government to come and finance the preparation for the World Cup. What then do you expect of the CAF president? Because such arguments, they need such comments to reinforce their agitation and their proposition that the government should be involved. I keep on saying it, whether we like it or not, the government must pull, and if not for any sport, for football, the government must pull out their finances. Because FIFA, 12.5 million, that is about $15 million or $15.3 million is going to be given to the NFF. They didn't say they're going to give it to Nigeria as a country. They are going to give it to one association that comprises, one federation that comprises 36 associations and the federal capital in Nigeria. They are going to give them what? About $15.3 million. And you don't expect...
There's still more coming when you get into the group stages.
And there's still more coming. That's the minimum. And you're not coming to tell me that the CAF president will come and say something different. Then you are not serious.
All right, moving on. I'm sure that the people in the realms of affairs, in Nigeria understand what they are doing or what they should be doing, and they will do everything possible to ensure that the Super Eagles have, a good outing, come Russia 2018. Well, I did mention that the CAF president and some of the CAF executives were in Lagos, and one of the things that they attended to a couple of things. Number one was the ITO Cup final, the Federations Cup that took place last Sunday between the team from Akwa Ibom and also the team from Mina, talking about Akwa United versus Niger Tornadoes, a match that ended 3-2 in penalties to Akwa United. So as it stands right now, the 2015 Federation Cups winners are also the 2017 ITO Cup winners as far as the Federations Cup is concerned. So it was good enough that the CAF president was on ground to see that match. The governor of Lagos State was also available to see the match. It looked like there were a lot of dignitaries, and I don't know, do you think that there was good, organization for the Federations Cup, the ITO Cup final? Do you think the organization was good? Some people believe that the football on the day, wasn't so great. It was a rather dull final, but I know that that's not that's neither good nor bad. There's been countless of international footballing tournament finals that are very dull because, I mean, it's a final, right? You don't want anybody to thump you 5-0, so everybody is usually cagey, you know, so I can understand that. But for organization, do you think it was well packaged?
I won't say it was badly packaged. What I would say is that we have not been able to articulate our vision for sports, talk less of articulating our vision for football. What is the objective? What do we want? What are we trying to sell? Are we trying to sell something that we think that is marketable? Now we say we've done the ITO Cup. It was held at the Agege Stadium. Was the Agege Stadium the best place? That's the question. Was the Agege Stadium the best place for that kind of event to have taken place? Remember one thing, the ITO Cup, which is which should have been like they say the Federation Cup. It's whether we like it or not, it's just like the FIFA ranking. It's a testament of what the Nigerian Football Federation is. So as a brand, as a federation, can we tie the ITO Cup and tie the NFF? Can we link the brands together? Are they equivalent? You get what I mean? Can we see equivalence in it? And I think there's so much to be done. First of all, I always agitate and I always advocate that sports is business. Till we begin to see sports as investment and profit. Investment and profit. We won't go anywhere. There are a lot of people that are shouting today, oh, they must sack Arsene Wenger from Arsenal. Arsenal, for how long? They have not won the Premier League. They've won the FA Cup. It has almost become a situation as if the FA Cup is Arsenal's birthright. But the board of Arsenal has not said anything negative about Arsene Wenger, no matter how the fans are crying at the top of their voice. Because the bottom line is clear. It's the business. Profit is paramount. So, in packaging the Federation Cup, I asked the question, what was the objective? Did that event, did it meet the objective? And for me, whether we like it or not, the objective of any sport is what? Is brand promotion, profitability, and above all, empowerment. It's drab. Why would the match be drab? Because any of those players, half of them, their eyes are what? Are abroad. They're looking for opportunity to go and play professionally. The Federation Cup, how many TV stations showed it? All of those things. You cannot have almost one of the premier events that is taking place in Nigerian sports. It's not being shown in almost all the broadcast platforms. Radio, they should be doing radio commentaries. Even online, it should be shown online. So that, because you see, it's a brand, it's a marketable brand. So all we are just hearing is ITO. That is all. Because, yes, ITO is trying to sell itself. Is that the only value that we can get out of that cup? I don't agree.
All right. But still talking ITO, that's also one of the things that was agreed at the CAF meeting, you know, just in the last couple of days in Lagos. So ITO basically is now also the new title sponsors for the next CAF Awards. So going forward from January 4th, 2018, the next CAF Awards will also be carrying the name ITO. What do you see playing out here?
No, for me, sincerely, before I don't want to comment so much because people would say I'm very critical. I would love to see maybe the marketing director, somebody from Globe, who has sponsored the CAF Awards for, I think, for almost 3-4 years or 5 years. They should come. I would love to listen to them. Let us have something like a seminar. Let them come and discuss. Let them come and tell us what the business proposition and the benefits they really derive from sponsoring the CAF award. Because it's not just a matter of I just want to sponsor. You understand? Did you meet the bottom line? Did you derive the economic benefits from being, you see, ITO, they say it's an energy company. A lot of questions. Yes, I know ITO. You know ITO. We are talking about it. But between me and you, if we go to the market, are there products that we can say, in quote, that you want to buy? The Barclays Premier League, just recently, Barclays Bank started sponsoring the EPL. So when you have the Barclays Premier League, you should know what it is. It's a bank that is sponsoring this, and their products that they are offering the public. So they need that visibility. They need that mention. They need people to know the word Barclays. Now, when I talk about ITO, it says an energy company. Is it that they sell fuel, they have filling stations, or they are into, what are they marketing? All of this is ITO for me they've not come out clearly to define for us what the marketing value they are offering us. So all we are just hearing is ITO. That's all we hear.
Yeah.
But you see, for me and you, if we say, okay, we want to support ITO supporting our football, and because we are because we love football, we want, even let ITO just do something. It's something that's so little. ITO should just please go and produce t-shirts. Jerseys. Yes. Just produce jerseys in the name of, produce jerseys and let us buy. Something, you see, we need value. Everything must be counted in value. Empirically.
We are going, hitting the home run right now. We've talked the FIFA ranking, we've talked ITO. Getting more closer to home now, let's give you this story about Governor Wike Nyesom, governor of Rivers State, who made a trip to Real Madrid, you know them, the La Liga giants. So basically, Rivers State is trying to set up a football academy, you know, in partnership with Real Madrid. And of course, we saw Governor Wike Nyesom visit Real Madrid. There were pictures of him with Cristiano Ronaldo, Sergio Ramos, the club captain. And in his own words, he says, we are using football as one of the key empowerment programs for the next generation. We want to grow international football stars from a tender age. We will tap from the experience and exposure of Real Madrid and their stars. This is a project that would revolutionize football in both Rivers States and Nigeria. Well, what do you see to this?
How far can a blind man walk who is not holding a cane?
Come again. Whatever that means.
Yes.
No, but I think that this is commendable. So we're setting up.
We're
setting up an academy in Rivers State. I know there's also a Barcelona academy in Lagos.
Unfortunately, in Nigeria, we don't do things with empirical data. It's true. We don't do things with empirical data. We don't sit down to really take empirical data and analyze data. Let's look at it this way. Lagos has, I think it's Baka School or something like that.
Barcelona, yeah.
Barcelona School here. Between me and you, I have a little cousin who is in that school. Now, the first question I ask people, in Spain, let me not look for trouble, Barcelona is in the Catalonian area of this thing. Is there a connection between the BACA program in Spain and the school program in Spain? Are they two independent programs, or are they linked one to another?
The BACA program and the
yes,
which one?
The existing BACA program in Spain. Forget the Lagos program. The BACA program in Spain.
Yeah.
And the school program in Spain. Is there a connection?
I don't know.
I can assure you there's a connection.
Why? Why do you think so?
Because you see, many of those young children go to school. And so there's a synergy between
The
what
club
is,
and the
between
local schools.
Yes, between the club
Okay.
and the local schools.
Okay.
And so when a school identifies, that's the point. It is the whole thing starts from the school. The school identifies the star, the future star. Let us use that word, the future star. He might be 7 years, but the way his dexterity with the ball, the way at that elementary age, the way he's showcasing his skill, the coach in that school goes to the backer coach or the feeder coaches or what we call the scouts and say, hey, come and have a look at this guy. He's showing some quality. So we pick him up. So the coaching at backer, the coaching in the school, the coaching philosophy, the football philosophy between the two of them should tie. And from there, the child begins his footballing career. He's not withdrawn from school. He's not. But at the end of the day, he maintains his academic career. He also maintains his football career. Not every student that is in the backer program end up becoming a professional footballer. Some of them, they're good, but they just follow their educational career and they just drop out of the whole scheme of things. So, but now you come to Lagos and come and see what we're doing. The Backer School in Lagos, does it tie with any school? No. Individuals, parents are the ones that carry their children to go and register in that school. It is not a matter of say it is, there's a connection between the educational system and the Backer program. Now today, Wike is now, because, Backer has come, Real Madrid must come. Fine. They want to come to River State. How has Governor Wike invested in school sports in River State? How has Governor Wike, to what extent has Governor Wike invested in 8th grade football, college football, elementary, primary, high school, university? Nothing. And all of a sudden, you want to say what? Oh, you are advocating, you want to raise professional footballers. That is why today, you can't look at most of our footballers. It's only someone like, what's his name, Shego Degbami. I salute him any day. I'm telling you sincerely, I salute him. He did sports proud on the platform. And the reason why he did sports proud on the platform is because of what? Of his educational background. Look at, what's his name, Olise. Olise is doing Nigerian football proud, even at the FIFA level, because of his educational background. We cannot continue, if I use that word, to build a structure where sports and education, there is no synergy. We cannot. So before Governor Wike can come out and make such a statement and all of that, for me, I don't know whether it's worth celebrating, sincerely. But at the end of the day, let him come out and first tell us that what the River State government is going to do henceforth is that sports in River State is going to be what? It's going to be compulsory. Sports at the elementary level, at the high school level, at this is going to be compulsory. And if at that level we identify you as having the talent in football, because you're talking of the Real Madrid something, then we will send you to what? To the Real Madrid school, and we'll finance that training. But what you are not going to do, what we are going to see today is that they are going to build an academy, and if care is not taken, it is either that private individuals will go and put their children there, or if that private individuals are not putting their children there, or they, on their own, under their so-called normal arrangement, Nigeria now with they will go and arrange for children that will go there, and at the end, we do not get what I call the benefit we deserve. The same problem we even have in our age grade football. Under 17, how many of our under 17 players grow to become prominent? Messi, didn't Messi come here to come and play during is he under 17? He came to Nigeria to come and play. How many people who played with Lionel Messi in Nigeria in that under 17, how many of them today rose up to become were able to showcase till today as I'm talking to you some of the skills or some of the opportunities that Lionel Messi is showing. It shows that there's something wrong somewhere in Nigerian football, and there's need for us to correct it.
Well, if you think that Governor Wike is doing something bad,
I didn't say he's doing something bad.
maybe not something.
The pieces,
maybe
the
not doing
pieces
it properly
on that puzzle are not properly arranged.
You need to go and check Imo State, where the governor, I think that's Rochas, has unveiled a statue of Jacob Zuma, the president of South Africa. So there's a statue in Imo State now of Jacob Zuma. There are questions around how many millions of maybe dollars or naira was used to erect that statue. But the question is, what is the economic importance of a Jacob Zuma statue in Imo State? So maybe that is worse than.
Okay, that's
I think
why
somebody doing
so let us
football
now tie.
academy.
There's
no point in tying it. They are two different things.
No, we can tie all of this. Let us look at the mentality of those who are occupying position in Nigeria. Let us tie the two. It shows that if care is not taken, there is need for us to take some of them for some evaluation.
So for viewers out there, this is not a political show. It's still Sports Weekly, your one-stop shop for all things sports. We've had an entertaining time in the studio. We hope that we've informed you of the general happenings in the world of sports. So we'll come your way next week. Please stay good and remain blessed. Thank you.